Between what we've lived through and what our day jobs demand, we've spent some serious time researching neuroscience. The pattern we keep seeing is the way we think shapes the way we behave. And over time, those behaviors shape our outcomes, often before we even realize we've made a choice.
So, in that research of neuroscience, it opened the door to neuroplasticity, habit loops, stress responses, micro decisions, all the brainy stuff that explains why just try harder is a trash strategy. In this lab, we're rewiring habits one experiment at a time.
Welcome to I Squared Lab. Fat things we did and may still want to do. This one come up the other day as Randy was talking about, because we were talking about some of the things we used to do. It was during COVID, and the pizza place, it was a pizza place. Why wouldn't have been a pizza place? And it was the one in Greenwood, and I can never remember the name of it. It wasn't Giordano's.
I think it was Giordano's.
Was it Giordano's?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Capri. I'm thinking of Capriotti's, but that's not. It's Giordano's.
That's a sandwich place, I think.
It's Giordano's.
Yeah, it's Giordano's.
It's where now Capriotti's is. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Or no, it's a Mexican place now. I don't know. Anyways, So it was a Giordano's back in 2020 when COVID hit, and everybody knows you just call in orders during COVID. You don't actually fix food at home.
You don't have to get out of your car. It's amazing.
Or you would just have it delivered, which, oh man, I would love to throw in my my bank account into AI and just have it tell me how much I spent between 2020 and 2022 in just Uber, like that, like Uber Eats or Grubhub, whatever it was. Anyways, so we would call in a pizza, we'd go and get it. And this Giordano's is probably about 30 minutes from our house, 25 minutes, like long enough where you're like, I really want to eat this pizza.
It's not going to be hot and fresh by the time you eat it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm not crazy. I mean, we're a little nuts, but so we would pick it up because it was a little too far to have it delivered. So we would go, and we would just get one pizza, and I remember he would throw it on the dashboard, and we'd start driving home, and maybe 5 minutes into the drive home, like, can you pull a corner piece off for me? It's small. It's a little rectangle.
It's like a party cut.
Yeah, it's like party cut. Yeah, party cut. So it's a little tiny piece. It's not something I have to maneuver really crazily in the car while I'm driving. He's like, yeah. So he'd pull it, and of course he would have one too, because you cannot just have pizza and you can't hand over a corner piece and not have a corner piece yourself. That would just be insane.
You can just watch him eat. That's rude.
And then, you eat the corner piece because it's really small really quickly. I'm like, I know there's at least 2 more corner pieces in there. So I'm like, can I have another corner piece? Before you know it, over half the pizza is gone. So we get home and it's almost completely gone. And we finish off a little bit of it when we're home. Well, not too long after that, we were like, should we order 2 pizzas? So I think the one pizza only lasted maybe 1 or 2 times until we got wise to our crazy ways, and we would order 2 pizzas. We would order a pizza for the ride home because we found we would just eat the entire thing on the way home. It was a 25-minute ride. And then when we're home, you would dip into the second pizza. I don't think we actually... In our defense,
you couldn't finish the second one.
Well, don't challenge me. We probably could have, but we were like, we should say. We actually, when we would go to Giordano's, they would tell us that it's really good the next day because they use a lot of, I think, butter in their crust. So they're like, oh,
as one should.
One should. It's like, they're like, this is actually like the best pizza day 2. Not that pizza isn't great on the second day, but you could throw in the oven and that butter just kind of crisps up a little bit more. And it's not like 2-day-old pizza. It's like even better.
And I want to clarify. So Giordano's has 2 kinds of pizza. It's Chicago pizza and it's deep dish. They have like 2 layers where it's cheese with a second crust, and then there's more cheese. It wasn't that kind. You guys got the thin crust, right?
We got the thin crust.
Okay. I was like trying to think of you guys eating that much cheese. And I was like, oh my God.
It was just a regular sausage pepperoni. Thin crust is really, for them, it's like a regular crust pizza. It's not like a thin crust that you would think of like it's super thin, like a tortilla thin. Like their thin crust is just like a normal hand-tossed pizza. So we were getting 2 pizzas for a while. One on the way home, and then one pretty much when we got home. I think there was probably, if I'm being honest, maybe 4 or 5 small squares for us to have the next day. One I would have considered at the time a snack, not a second meal going into the next day. So our one pizza became 2 pizzas very quickly.
That's awesome. I mean, it's not, but
we don't do that anymore. And actually, it's pretty rare we have pizza anymore. We'll do a pizza bowl. There's Enzo's in town, and they do a really good pizza bowl.
They do a good pizza bowl,
and they've got a great salad with great ranch. So if we had a hankering for pizza and didn't want to do the full-on pizza, which we would, these days, what's really smart for us to do, though, is just to go during the day on the weekends, sit in there and eat it, and just get a slice or 2.
We'll do like a slice of pizza, like at a New York style.
Yeah, exactly.
Pizza place. We'll do homemade pizza, so you can really control
everything that's on it and what goes into it.
Yeah.
There's another time. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we've done 2 pizzas before, but probably not that extravagant. We've like crap pizza, I would say, like, and it's more of like a bargain deal where it was like Donato's or Papa John's where it was like buy one get one free, and we're like, well, we have to get 2 pizzas, and like I like onions and Adam doesn't, so like we had to get our own pizzas because you couldn't do half and half. Like,
they do touch.
Yeah, I mean, and he was like, I don't want your onions all steaming inside the box where my pizza's gonna be because it's gonna infect his pizza. So we would totally get our own pizzas, and I mean, there were times. I mean, you just sit on the couch. You can picture it. We're sitting on the couch. We don't even use plates. You're just eating out of your own pizza box. Yeah, totally been there.
This reminds me of, we go to, when you said no plates, there's this music festival we go to, and we used to go to it all the time. They actually stopped having it, and the bands they started to bring on there weren't that great. It was called Forecastle, and we would go there with our friends from Chattanooga. So they would drive up from Chattanooga, and we'd drive down from Indy. It's only like an hour and a half drive for us. We'd stay in the Galt House, and every night, we took you and Adam there. We would order Spinelli's pizza at the end of the night. You're talking, it's already probably 1 a.m. It's already 1 a.m. because you're maybe midnight at the earliest. So we would order Spinelli's pizza, and they would deliver it to the hotel where we were at. This festival's like a 3-day festival. I have a picture in my phone of 3 or 4 pizza boxes just like stacked up because it's Sunday, and we would order it. We all look at each other. We're like, Spinelli's? And we would have, and
it's tradition.
In our defense, it was 1 pizza for all 4 of us. So we would only have a couple pieces, but it is like 2 a.m. by the time we get it.
Is it really necessary?
It's 100% necessary. Thank God we haven't done this festival in a while, but we never have plates. So it's tradition for us to eat it off of the little hand towels from the bathroom.
It's so gross.
It's so gross. But even today, because we just went on a cruise with them, they were like, man, should we get pizza and eat it off of hand towels? We did not. But even to this, because it's just, I think there was one time where we didn't have plates at all. Sometimes they do deliver them, but it was one time they didn't. And it was really hot, and we were really hungry. So I just grabbed all this small, like, wash rags and hand towels and I think Barrett and Anna just thought it was hilarious. So it's just tradition to eat it right off of the hand towels.
Hopefully you guys tip the staff that cleans your rooms.
We do.
So gross.
God.
Oh man. Okay, where were you gonna go?
Because it's kind of in the vein of getting food to get food. Oh, God, and you just have to laugh about this kind of thing. So there's this.
This is like therapy. It's good.
it's confessions.
Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest.
Confessions of bad things I did. There's this place called Gray's Cafeteria.
So good.
For the listeners, this place is actually closed down now, but this place opened in the 40s, I want to say, and it was a cafeteria in the sticks. And I say cafeteria. This is good homemade food. The best pies, homemade pies you will ever have.
Everything from scratch.
Everything is from scratch. It's delicious. They actually just closed down in 2025, I believe.
Yeah, in the fall.
Yeah, we went on one of the last weekends. It was kind of a last hurrah. We usually go there anymore during the holidays because they've got all the fireplaces are roaring, all the Christmas trees are up. It's just and it holds a lot of memories because we went there with our grandparents probably almost every Sunday. We stopped going there when I was in weight loss mode because, it just wasn't as...
It tapered off too. We weren't going...
It wasn't as good
once
either.
Once our grandpa passed, which he passed when you were probably 13.
Yep.
And then we went back probably... I don't know, maybe like once a month at that. Like it started to taper off.
And then it was like once every 3 and then once every 6.
A couple times a year.
The food wasn't quite as great after COVID either. So it was a gradual saying goodbye for sure.
It was slow.
But I do remember this one occasion where me and Randy were up north on the north side of Indianapolis. And this Gray's Cafeteria is like Mooresville, which is a good 50 minutes, maybe an hour south of up north. It's southwest.
That's like hour and a half. I mean, that's a long drive.
It's a
very long drive.
It's not even 25 minutes. Yeah. We were not hungry at all from what I remember. I don't remember being hungry for many years actually, but I don't remember being hungry. But we knew we needed to meet you guys at a certain time. Like mom and dad were going to be there. You were going to be there. Diane was going to be there, our aunt. And we ended up stopping at McDonald's on the way to Gray's. Like we were going to be there. Let's say it took an hour and a half. We were going to be there in an hour and a half.
Right.
But we stopped at McDonald's to get food. And when I say we stopped at McDonald's, it wasn't to get like 6 chicken nuggets. When we stopped at McDonald's, it was... at least one sort of combo of something, probably fish fillet combo or a double cheeseburger or 2 cheeseburgers. Those were kind of my 3 go-to. Plus chicken nuggets, with some of the different sauces. Like, it's not like we did something in a minimal way. Like, even if we were a little hungry, we're like, gosh, I really want some. Like, first of all, you can just wait an hour and a half to go eat because you're not even really that hungry. And then like the food, like I remember being so full walking into Gray's and knowing I was going to have a full-on Gray's meal. And I don't think I skimped there either. Because when you walk into Gray's, you're doing the country fried chicken with white gravy all over it. So this is a breaded and fried giant piece of chicken with the most delicious country white gravy all over it. And then mashed potatoes with gravy. You can get brown or white. They ask you that in line. And then it's typically the mac and cheese because it still holds the cake of the best macaroni and cheese I've ever had. It did taper off towards the end, but
still good though.
It's still very good. Like all homemade, of course.
It's hard to decipher. Does it still taste good or is it just the memories that I like? It's hard. It's really, you and I have talked about this before. Like, does it really still taste good or is it the memories that I'm so fond of?
I think it's the memories.
Yeah, I think it is. But sorry, go ahead.
I think that's important to kind of sit on, though, because why was I wanting to eat before I was going to eat?
Yeah.
And I wasn't hungry. I wasn't physically hungry. What was I actually trying to satisfy?
Because you would think you would want to enjoy Gray's food.
Exactly.
It would be better than McDonald's. Like
way better. This is the so this is, I mean, even though this is things we did and we're kind of laughing about it, I really would like to
dissect it a little bit.
Yeah, because what if I really sit and get curious to why did I do that? What was I trying to satisfy? And I know we were going to meet mom and dad, and
was that part of it? I mean, this is probably a long time ago. How long ago was it?
It was before COVID,
Okay.
at least.
I mean, you may not remember. I don't know.
I mean, so you're talking 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe 8 years ago?
It was one day, 10 or 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember what you were feeling, thinking?
I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to stack what was happening.
Yeah.
At least maybe I could try and figure it out. Because, you know, going out with...
What time of year was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Were you wearing a coat? Were there
Maybe
Christmas trees up?
It didn't feel like summer.
Okay. I mean, like, was it
I
around
don't
holidays?
feel like it was hot.
Was there stress, with the holidays around?
It could have been.
Or birthdays, maybe?
You know what's funny is I don't really remember us ever going there in the summer a lot.
No.
It's normally fall, winter time when we would go. Maybe a little bit of spring, like up through Easter, and then it tapers off until the fall.
Yeah.
So maybe it was around our birthdays, even though that's winterish. But sometimes it's 65, sometimes it's 25.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, any kind of interaction with mom can come with...
That's what I blame it on.
A multitude of challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime we're doing anything that's different around food,
I wonder if you didn't want to overeat in front of her, maybe?
That's interesting.
Maybe almost like some people, like when people go on first dates, they're like, eat a meal before you go because you don't want to eat too much.
Subconsciously it.
Yeah, maybe you were, I don't know, like air quotes, like dieting at the time. Maybe she thought you were on one of your diets at the time, and maybe you didn't want to overeat in front of her. I don't know.
Which is interesting because we don't talk to her about it when we are.
Yeah,
I haven't for a long time. Even when I was doing, even when we were doing Weight Watchers at different times, we didn't really announce that we were. It just got old.
Talk to her about it.
Yeah, because she would try and.
How's it going?
And she's just being, I think the attempt was to be supportive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
But it never was supportive. It always felt judgmental. It always felt antagonistic.
Mm-hmm.
It felt that even if there was success tied to it, it was tied to her in some way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Which kind of goes down to, I think of self-limiting beliefs around that. What was it that, because one of my big ones that I uncovered with Andrea Dell, who does this kind of work, is that I'm not enough. And I was really surprised to find that was one for me, even though it's probably one of the most common ones.
Yeah. But
how much I've worked on myself, how much I put myself out there to do certain things, to look down at the paper and to see that I had wrote, I'm not enough, and circled it. I was actually shocked.
Yeah, you told me that before, and I was like, I just looked at you. I was like, you were surprised. I was like, you were surprised that was a limiting belief for you, because I feel like that's every woman's limiting belief, but you were a very confident person.
And I've tricked myself into thinking that.
Yes. So I understand why that was a shock for you. I get that, because you tricked yourself into thinking that.
There's no way that I don't think that I'm enough.
Yeah.
But certainly I do in some regards.
You've pushed that down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the same thing. I'm not enough. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening think that. If you don't, good on you. I mean, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
But I don't, my problem with it, I realize I think that. My problem with it is that I very quickly realize that is a stupid thought. Of course I am enough. Of course I'm enough. I am smart. I am talented. And I don't give that thought another moment. But that's also very bad.
Yes.
That's also very,
because you're
very
almost
bad.
Ignoring it.
I'm also tamping it down and ignoring it. But see, with my positivity, I'm super, super like positivity is my number 2 strength. With my positivity, I'm like, that's stupid, Lindsay. Of course you're enough. Don't give that a second. People are always like, don't give that a second thought. Like, of course you're enough. Don't give that a second thought. So I don't. But that's hurtful.
It is.
That is so, and I think, just like you were probably about to say, I think that has hurt me over and over again.
I think that so I talk about this a lot, and I don't know that, I think I'm just scratching the surface with this, is that when we sit and we journal or we meditate or we pray or whatever it is that you're doing to be still and to sit with yourself to see what comes up for you, the stuff that comes up, I judge. And I think other people judge it too, just like this.
Right.
Because ultimately that's what it is. How could you possibly think you're not enough? Look at everything you've done. And by the way, this isn't how we would talk to each other. The way we talk to ourselves about it is absolutely ridiculous. If you came to me and said, I don't think I'm enough for this, I'd be like, well,
you'd probably slap me.
Well, I would. I would. I mean, I would be
would.
like, you're crazy, and here's all the evidence to
Right.
disprove what you're thinking right now. So what is it about the situation that really is catching you on your back foot? Or what about this is you're just, there's something about it that you're fearful of, or it usually comes down to 2 really raw human emotions, and it's fear and hurt. And it's usually both on some level, is why this, we won't turn to certain things. And I do this with emotions too. I think that I come off as benign at times, or I could come off as very sterile. And I find that emotions aren't productive at times. We grew up in a house where emotions were heightened, not in a, I feel like we always do this, like, well, it wasn't in a bad way. And it really wasn't. Like, there wasn't anything life-threatening.
We were loved.
We were certainly loved.
We were very, very loved and very, very wanted.
There was the emotions in the house actually were volatile in a way that the individuals that were having them weren't understanding them.
Correct. That's a very, very well-worded way to put it.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody else.
So
they still, to this day, do not understand them.
Absolutely. And it's so confusing for them. They don't know what to do with it except to cry.
Yes. In
situations where a mirror has been put up in their face and they're shown what they're doing.
Yes. And then they blame others.
Yeah. So I grew up seeing emotions as something that was a little unsafe, because it didn't feel safe to me that this individual didn't have their arms wrapped around it, that wasn't able to help me regulate my emotions when they came up. I mean, I don't think I was the only person that's ever going to listen to this, that when they cried big crocodile tears, they were told to go to their room. Mm-hmm. That was what I knew and learned to do, that if you were going to show emotion, then you better go to your room. And what did that teach me?
Mm-hmm. And it's funny how we handled it in different ways, because I was taught to sit quietly and not show emotion, but dissect everything.
See, I didn't.
And my empathy is through the roof.
Yeah.
And I just dissect every single emotion, and I just watch people and I just see how they react. And I just dissect and everything to understand it. It's just interesting how and
I completely tamp it down, because you better not show any emotion, because you're not going to be a part of the tribe if you do.
Yeah. It's funny. I'll show emotion. I cry all the time. You know that. Mm-hmm. I mean, we do this podcast and I'm like over here tearing up. I just like, hopefully you guys can't hear it sometimes. And I'll tear up, but I understand my emotions so clearly. I know exactly why I'm crying. Thank God I was able to figure that out. Thank God.
I've had to really work with it through maintenance to really okay.
Well, anytime you want to talk about your emotions. I am here for you.
It's a waste of time.
It is not a waste of time. It's not a waste of time.
And I tell the group sometimes we're so disembodied from the emotions that I'm not even sure I know what they are. Like I can't, I will disconnect from them so quickly and so easily because that's what I was taught to do.
Yeah.
That I won't even, I'll be in a state where I've been feeling this probably all day, but I've been ignoring it, tamping it down. And all it is maybe just a small, it started out being a little bit vulnerable in a meeting because I maybe didn't have the full answer to something that my team actually has the answer to, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
Or I just didn't expect an individual to react in that kind of way to the news I was going to give. So that caught me a little off guard, that it made me feel sad or it made me feel lonely in some way or just frustrated. Like all of those emotions, like I have to really sit with and go, I think I'm just frustrated. Am I frustrated? Is that what frustrated feels like? Like that's how disconnected I can be with some of my emotions at times, especially when it's like, we just got to get the stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I will just completely like become another person. And I think there are times that you do need to do that for survival reasons.
I was going to say, fortunately, unfortunately, it has made you one badass, like business person. You've been able to, and I've done that too, been able to disconnect myself from, you know what I mean? And just look at the facts. Like, I mean, that's been good for you in a business sense, but
I need to know when to
bad for you.
reconnect.
Exactly.
And then process through them.
Yeah. You
and
need to
not
be able
have
to take
them-
the time.
Yes.
And yes, absolutely.
That's what if this time is going to be different? That's what I'm
You
doing
have to do
differently.
that.
I
Yeah.
have to.
It's good that you realize that. That's the first step.
Yeah, but I'm terrible at it. And you know how I feel when I'm not good at things.
Oh yeah. You only do what you're good at.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Some of the other things when I was thinking about the limiting beliefs, because mine is, I'm sure I have many, but that was my biggest one that came up. A lot of people will say that they can't trust themselves around food. I mean, this is one of the most cited core beliefs in weight loss psychology and coaching literature. I mean, often develops after years of restrictive dieting, binge restrict cycles, or just being told certain foods are quote unquote off limits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once formed, it just starts to self-reinforce itself. Distrust leads to control leads to rebellion. And it just, it perpetuates it proves that this belief is true for that individual, even though it's not. But I think this comes up for me around certain foods, nuts, nut butters.
I was going to mention the nuts. Yeah.
They're not in the house.
I especially like candied nuts. Oh my gosh, they're so good because it's salty with the sweet and the fatty, buttery creaminess with it. It's so good. It's so good.
What's interesting you say that is 12-step programs around food addiction. If you actually check yourself into, then I've heard this. I haven't done it, but this is what I've read. So if I'm wrong, someone can put something in the comments. But the literature says that if you check yourself into a facility for 30 days around food addiction, and yes, this is a place and a thing, that the first two things they remove from your diet there are things that are creamy and things that are crunchy.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think I feel like I always go down this road, so I apologize, but I feel like I've heard that that's why a lot of the snack foods are so crunchy because we crave that.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yep.
This reminds me too of I can't trust myself around food. It reminds me of one of the illusions of demotivation that we talk about, and it's called induced dependence. And what that means is basically it overpowers your independence. So a person learns to defer or depend on another person. So if you can't trust yourself around something, or if you're on a weight loss program, like we all are, or you're maintaining essentially. And if you can't, if you don't want to take that risk, right? If you don't trust yourself to take that risk with certain foods, then you almost have to depend on somebody else to let you know what you can.
If it's okay to have this or not.
It's okay, which is a little borderline, because if you know yourself, you don't want to, you know yourself and you don't want to introduce those nuts. So that's a little different. But what I mean here is if you don't really know what you can introduce, then you have to depend on somebody else.
I think it gets scary for individuals who are just starting out, who are just, the knowledge is still coming. Like they're not really sure. Maybe they need to run the experiment a few times to even see if they can. What's interesting about the nuts and the nut butter for me is that it almost has to be twofold. It needs to be in abundant supply, and it needs to be when I'm alone.
Yes. The alone part is what I was thinking.
Secrecy.
Too. Yeah.
It's like,
that's when I go crazy.
Why? Like if I'm eating in secret, or I start to get a feeling like, oh, Rainey's going to go and mow the grass, that means I'm going to have an hour and a half in this house by myself. What can I have? Get out of the house.
You know, it probably ties into that feeling of I'm not enough, is because I know the things that I do when others aren't watching.
Yes.
I mean, I know what I'll do, like the depraving things that I'll do when others aren't watching. And that's why I think that I'm not enough, because other people don't know the stuff that I'll do when others aren't watching.
Oh,
I'll lay on the floor and I'll eat those cheese sticks. You know, I mean, it's
that was so good.
The crazy stuff that we'll do.
The second one that came up as the most common limiting belief is I'll always struggle with my weight. I think I still think this. Not that I won't have this kind of 10-pound range. Like I've given myself, like honestly, a 10 to 15-pound range. I have a ceiling, and if I've hit that ceiling, it's time to pull it back down. And I don't think that's exactly unhealthy for me, since I have been overweight for so long. I need to have some guardrails, but I mean the belief so strongly about it that it's that, and this is also in our illusion of demotivation. There's 3 components to this that we teach. And the second one here is learned helplessness. And it's actually frequently mentioned in cognitive behavioral analysis of failed dieting attempts.
Yeah, it's basically results in a person behaving incompetent or powerless based on past experiences, which I think this is true for me too. I mean, if you've gone around the mountain several times like we have, then why wouldn't I always struggle with it? There's nothing in my past history and data
to tell you that you're not going to. I found myself when I first got to maintenance, and I think I said this for multiple reasons, so this could be a whole thing we would unpack. I've never been able to maintain it. I've never been able to maintain it. I've never been able to maintain it.
So how do you flip that script?
What's interesting is, 1 second on that.
Okay.
When people would say, "Oh my gosh, you did so," but keep that in mind, because we need to do that.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh my gosh, you've done so good. 205 pounds in 18 months. That's incredible." It was really hard for me to take the compliment, because it also seems like it's not real, and like it's this surreal thing. Be like, "Oh, thanks. You know, I've never been able to maintain it." I would immediately say that every time, almost to like be like, "Don't you worry, I'll F this up."
Well, and I don't know about you, but I'm always somebody who can't take a compliment.
Oh, I'm terrible at it.
Okay. Oh, I was going to say, like, I mean, somebody's like, "Oh my God, your hair looks so good today." And I'm like, "Thanks. I didn't wash it." Like,
thanks, it kind of stinks.
Yeah. I'm like, "Thanks. I haven't washed it for 3 days. Like, this is my 3-day hair." Like, I just somehow like trash their compliment.
Or they'll compliment on something I'm wearing. "Oh, thanks. I got it for $3 at Goodwill."
I know. I'm like, "Oh, thanks. It's like 20 years old." I wore it in high school. It still fits.
So you said, how do you flip that script?
Yeah. Yeah.
I realized I had to stop saying it because I was speaking it
Into existence.
into existence.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, you better pull your bootstraps up. How do you prove to yourself then?
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole mantra that I had in weight loss mode, what if this time is different? I had to carry that same thing into maintenance. All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
We've walked through the door. We've reached a goal, which isn't actually a destination. It really is just a continuation
The start of a new journey.
It's seriously,
Yeah.
yes, you could say like that part of is done, but now what's the goal after the goal?
Mm-hmm.
Now we got a different goal. Now we get to, yes, weight is a thing, but what else can we also measure our success as we get into maintenance? I couldn't do a push-up. And then how much body fat was I when I got to goal? I was 28.4% body fat PS. That's awful.
Excuse my ignorance. Is that still obese technically?
Oh, no, well, no, actually I wasn't.
It's overweight.
It technically,
Okay.
because
Like
BMI,
technicalities here. Yeah.
BMI does not measure body fat percentage. BMI is only your height and your weight. So I was totally fine.
Oh, okay.
BMI has nothing to do with your body fat percentage,
Oh.
which is completely,
Oh, that's
I'm
bull
gonna,
crap.
yes.
They should change that.
Yeah. It's an archaic, outdated way of measuring if you are obese.
I guess I knew that, but okay. I guess
She's completely, you should see her face. We
Yeah.
need to record ourselves.
I know. We should start recording
Your
ourselves.
facial expression is pretty great.
Thanks.
No.
I like to reason. Reasoning and logic is a really good thing to have in life. So people should do that out there.
So I'm
Not
completely.
this group. I'm talking about
Yeah.
people who make rules should do that. Do you want to go into what Dad said to you?
I've said it before, but
You
it kind
have.
of fits here too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they'll mind hearing the
I
awfulness
just
of it
think
again.
it's just
Well, because it kind of
yeah.
fits into learned helplessness, or it could have. It's an example of,
It goes into that script that you were talking about.
yeah.
For sure.
So came around the corner. James, our brother, said, "Oh my gosh, there's half of you."
You lost half of you.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you've lost half of you.
Somebody said you lost half of
Yeah,
you.
you're half of who you are.
Yeah.
Something like that.
The word
And-
lost,
Yeah.
half, was used.
And then Dad said, "Oh, don't worry. She'll find the other half." Meaning I would just gain it back because I had. And I was still probably about 20 or 30 pounds from my goal weight at that time. That could have easily have derailed me. But I was close enough that I really wanted to see it all the way through. I had made up my mind that I was going to see it to goal. Whether I was going to stay there or not, we'll see. But it was almost like that's what spurred the fire for me to prove that I could maintain it. But it could have easily have not have.
See, I'm crying now because I'm sad for you. So, see, I cry easily.
You're going to make me cry.
I
Stop.
know. I was so pissed at him.
I know. Well, when I actually, I went to the retreat back in 2023. I wasn't yet to goal weight. And it was just before that he had said it, as I hadn't told anybody that he had said that to me at that time. And there was like 3 girls at that retreat that we all hung out together, and we were in the car, and I said it out loud to her, and that's when I started to cry.
It's so hard to say that out loud.
So learned helplessness. So
Yes.
I mean, that could,
Yes. Let me get my voice back. Yes, learned helplessness.
but how many times? I mean, that's not probably a story that is so outlandish. How many people are listening to this that have had something like that happen to them?
Yeah. I mean, basically, you're giving up, you're demonstrating a lack of competence and power. And you're giving up your power. And nobody wants to do that. We're not helpless, but we're learning it.
If you really are stuck in the learned helplessness, it's just not a passing thought, though. It becomes a mental script that lowers persistence after setbacks. What if after that happened, let's just play this out. If after he had said that, it was at a cookout, I could have easily have went face down in
A bag of chips.
a bag of chips or who knows. I could have stopped for ice cream on the way home. It was at the dead of summer. Starbucks,
Yeah.
cake pops. That could have easily have spiraled me into something, but it didn't. It lit a fire. It didn't put it out.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that that kind of thing still happens to a lot of people that could completely snuff out their fire around this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want them to hear that it doesn't have to.
Right.
I don't know what it was about that I think it's because I had my mind set up so strongly that I was going to do this. And that no matter what came at me, I was either going to gamify it, I was going to figure my way out of it, or you know what? Lord, help us. I wasn't going to have the meal if it wasn't in the parameters I had set up that I wanted to have, a fat, a veg, and a protein.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven forbid I skip a meal. So I think I had just made up my mind so much about it that maybe that was it.
It's interesting, though, because sometimes we can be so dialed in, it's scary. And then other times we can be on really shaky ground.
That's the part that makes it so seemingly fragile.
Yes, very fragile. So, I mean, it's very fortunate that you were very dialed in.
I've also heard this, and this goes a little bit to the all or nothing thinking, which I do think is a part of the limiting beliefs. It's that cognitive distortion that is repeatedly identified as a key driver of relapse in weight loss and maintenance, actually, research. It's this like moment where there's this single deviation of what you're doing, and it's interpreted as like total catastrophic failure. And you have one bite of something that isn't on plan, and then you just go absolutely S for apple butter.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, you just go crazy.
Yeah.
And it leads to complete abandonment and effort after what you've just been on plan. And this is what I've heard. It's another podcast I listened to, and it was so, the visual of it is so important, I think, for people who have all or nothing thinking. You hear people say, oh, I'm in the ditch again, or I've fallen off the wagon, or the wheels have come off. There's all kinds of different ways you could say it. The thing is, you were just out of the ditch. And the ditch and not being in the ditch are so close to one another. You could easily just be right back on plan.
Mm-hmm.
As easily as you could be just off plan. And I think we don't realize that the two are so close together. And if you could get that visual in your head of like, there's either on the path or there's this ditch, or off the path, or there's the wagon or there's off the wagon, but they're not as far apart as they feel like they are when you have a setback, when you have a lapse of some kind. It really isn't. The next moment could be you drinking your water, eating the food, taking a 5-minute walk, resetting. Maybe you journal before you actually have something else. You like sit down and like, okay, I don't know, this journaling thing is stupid. I don't know. You can even write that out. I have actually done that before because I was a big poo-pooer of journaling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally bit the bullet and did it. And I would sit down and would set a timer for me to actually write something. And I would actually, my first few sentences would be like, this is so stupid. This isn't going to do anything. And then you start to make sense of things in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Can't handle it. And it was like, let's actually formulate. And then you start to go, you know what? Today was a good day and I did this. And, you start to even just write about the evidence that show that you did 99% of the day was amazing, or whatever it is, or 80% or 70%, or some days it's 30, but it's still 30%. And it's better than throwing up a 0.
No, I don't journal, and I wish I did, because everything I read about like these self-assessments, it's like, you're somebody who should journal.
You should journal.
Yeah, they're like, because I'm very introspective, and
I'm surprised
all
you
those
don't,
things.
to be honest.
They're like, you should journal.
Of the two of us,
I should journal. Like,
if someone would be like, which one of you journals, people would pick you.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, of course she journals. Like, of course she's the one that journals. So I do want to start journaling, but the really cool thing about journaling is also when you are having a bad day, you can look back at all the great days.
I know.
And that
There's
is so
so
cool.
much evidence there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've recommitted because it's March,
Yeah.
and March is lock-in month. This is prove it month. Let's prove to ourselves we're done with saying we're going to lose the weight. We are going.
Yeah.
We're going to try to lose the weight.
I'm committing right now that I will start journaling.
You will?
Yeah.
That's what so I've recommitted because
Yeah,
I
I'm
will go
committing.
really big stints where I'll
Mhm.
journal. But I've started as of March 1st. I'm like, you need to do the
That's awesome.
consistentness of it.
I have so many beautiful notebooks that just sit around.
Exactly.
That I like
I can't
collect
tell you
them.
how many I have.
I have like 30 beautiful notebooks. Just because I just like them. So
There's also
Yeah.
this you could get I don't like it because I don't think there's enough room in them, but it's actually a 5-year journal. Have you
I
heard
have
of
one
these?
of those? Yeah.
So every page has like 5 slots on it,
Mhm.
one for every year. So when you get to January 1st of 2027, you could look back and see what you wrote in
Very cool.
2023 on January 1st of 2023. But it's only like 4 or 5 lines. So I
Mhm.
have one and I do like it, but I find that I've got way more to say than that
Yeah.
when I get going.
I will too.
On some days. On some days I don't. On some days it's like A+, felt good, something like that. But so those are interesting. If somebody listening feels like they don't have a ton to say, maybe it's really cool to see and look back. It's cool and not cool because then you could see, oh man, I was this same weight back in 2023 and I promised myself I would be 50 pounds lighter. It could also be a gut punch too, but
Well, sometimes you need that gut punch.
sometimes you need that gut punch.
Until next time, stay curious.
Keep experimenting.